And third, even though there was considerable political pressure on me to issue the NPAAs against the targeted employees, I was not willing to rubber stamp the NPAAs because I did not believe them warranted, since they were based solely on the report of counsel, which I did not believe was a trustworthy document. I refused to take action which would affect the careers and livelihood of good people on such unreliable evidence. My advice and recommendation to the board was that if they were relying on the report of counsel to proceed with the proposed NPAAs, the decision would prove ill-advised. Another area I would like to discuss that I think needs clarification is the post-audit reviews by the Civil Service Commission on personnel hires at the port. There are many innuendos that I am somehow involved or responsible in the hiring of unqualified employees. And I want to point out that the facts will show that I was not involved in recruiting, qualifying, or hiring these employees. A proper investigation should reveal what occurred and who gave the orders to hire these employees. As a dedicated employee and a person who tries to play by the rules, I did not deserve to be treated by the board or the administration in such a despicable manner. The real story is not about me, though. I'm blessed with a loving husband and wonderful children, and I'll weather this storm. The real story is about the assault on the merit protection system and the failure of people who should know better to stand up for what is right. The real story is about the cavalier manner in which the lives of 6 good people were ruined yesterday. I will do what's necessary with the help of my legal team and the media to make sure that all the facts are known and the truth is exposed. In closing, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this statement today. We're on the eve of Christmas. I'm about to celebrate my birthday tomorrow. Experiences like this just show me why it's so important to fight the good fight and to not succumb to, I think, circumstances that are not fair and principled. So to my port employees, you know, I sent you my Christmas card. Those 7 lovely kids on there are my grandchildren. They're what I live for, similarly to you. It's what we do every day, why we wake up, why we try to do our best. To my port employees, I just want you to know as I go, I promised you I would never turn my back on you, and what I've done in this circumstance was exactly that. I stood up for what was right. I refused to harm you based on a report that I thought was just monstrous in manner, in execution, and in motive. And I will end on a positive note. I want to say thank you for, you know, the opportunity to have served you. I tried my best. I think I've done phenomenal things for the port, and I only wish all of you the best and a Merry Christmas. And I hope it's a better New Year for me, as I hope it's a Happy New Year for all of you. So Zeus Masi.
Will you take questions?
I will take some questions.
Will you hold Governor accountable for responsibilities?
Things do not happen without an understanding from Adelup, and the fact that I was called to Adelup suggests that he is not silent in this matter and is not unaware, and I'm confident about that.
Has he spoken to you personally?
I spoke with him over the past couple weeks, and interestingly, I asked him if it was his desire to have me work for him, and he said, "Absolutely, Mary, you're doing a great job." When I met him at the lighting ceremony, which was most recent when we had our lighting ceremony for the completion, came up to me, grabbed me by the arm, very sincerely leaned into me and said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Oh yes, I'm all right," as this was unfolding. So I took that to mean that he perhaps cared or recognized that I was a good soldier and a servant, but obviously I know better now.
During executive days when you met with the board, did you officially resign or?
Here, I learned, ironically, I learned that I was terminated by you folks. They didn't indicate to me that they were going to fire me today. I presented my defense to the report. That was what I had asked, so that it could be on the record. And that was where it ended, with me presenting my defense, my position.
The legal counsel who wrote this opinion that you say is full of inaccuracies and distortions, is that Mike Phillips?
Mike Phillips and John Bell, yes.
It's unsigned. Yeah, they didn't have the courage to sign it.
Yeah, well, it did come from them, and it was sent to me via email, although they didn't sign it themselves, and they refer to themselves as in the third person, so it's kind of a very unusual, usually drafted document of such severity.
So just to be clear, you will be taking legal action?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Will there be any further
Legal action.
will there be anything filed in court subsequent to today? What's happening?
I think that we have to discuss what our options are, because clearly what has occurred is
Kevin,
interesting.
It's Christmas. We just got the news. Kevin, you're an old country boy. You know the adage. Don't get down in the mud and wrestle with the pig, because you get dirty and the pig likes it. So let's think about where to go.
Yeah.
Could we get the reaction from Governor Camacho? What is your sense of what is happening here?
First, I'm here as Mary's older brother. Mary is my only sister. She's the daughter of the former governor, late Governor Carlos Camacho. And I know her. So I'm here representing our family as a show of support and love for her. We know her integrity. We know of her character. We were raised right. And I'm here to just lend my support to her and be with her in this trying moment. As a two-time governor and four-time senator, I'm well aware of the political maneuverings that have occurred, and it is very disturbing for me as a Republican former governor to see what has occurred here under a Republican administration, not only to Mary, but to 6 employees and part of the key and core management of the Port Authority of Guam. There's much at stake, I think, administratively, with all the initiatives that the port is faced with moving forward. And bringing in Joanne Brown does not provide enough stability, I think, when you've got the core of management that has been gutted. Politically, I'm surprised that Governor Calvo has allowed this process to get out of hand. It is like a runaway train and he has allowed, I believe, the Port Board of Directors to act, to run amok and act irresponsibly. As in all things of this magnitude, the governor is never outside of it. He must be counseled, he must be advised, and he must give his blessing. Something of this magnitude and scale that has occurred at the Port Authority, with the firing of 6 employees, career employees at that, and the general manager. And let's not forget the resignation of the recent deputy director here, or manager, is of such a scale and magnitude that is impactful. He had to have given his blessings to it. And so there, you know, only time will tell what will happen in 2 years. Remember, this administration is up for re-election, and I find it interesting that he is allowed, let's face it, you know, the law firm or legal counsel that has been in a leadership of position in the Democratic Party, his chief of staff is of a Democratic family. Mr. Taidenko, the chairman of the board for the Port Authority, is of a Democratic leaning party. And they have allowed them to effectively drive a wedge in the party, in the Republican Party of Guam, 2 years before a re-election. I'm not sure he is aware of what has occurred here, but it is quite unfortunate.
Which leads me to another question. 6 people, long-term employees, valuable employees. How does that hurt in big picture-wise, in terms of federal funding and those other numbers?
The institutional knowledge that is borne by the corporate services manager is incredible, and I think that we will see that some difficulty in the continuity and the stability of managing all the projects. You know, ironically, we brought the modernization program to where it is. The first bid for the first task order is underway. The second one's there. The third, planning for it. Things that I was actively, you know, I was brought here to work with Merit and essentially figure out how to get the modernization program going, get the money spent, get upwards of $46 million in hard cash invested into the port. All that I've done and all the related people that were managing the contracts, managing the experts that were and consultants that were involved are gone. So yes, it is a very, very precarious time for the port.
This hurts the port.
Absolutely,
For
absolutely.
political reasons.
For many reasons, it hurts the port because the continuity of the port is now compromised. In fact, when the adverse actions were served, this place essentially shut down. We had no people to process any payments or payroll. You know, it was just ill thought.